Hello, and welcome to Let's Talk About Layoffs. I'm Dr. Tracy Shroyer, and in this podcast, we're diving deep into the world of layoffs, exploring not just the challenges they present, but also the alternatives that exist. Through transparency, courage, and empathy, we'll uncover new perspectives and strategies for both individuals and organizations navigating these complex situations. Join me as we engage with experts, share stories, and provide practical insights. Whether you're affected by layoffs, involved in decision-making, or just interested in understanding this critical aspect of the corporate world, there's something here for you. Let's embark on this journey together, rethinking and reshaping the narrative around layoffs. All right, so today I want to talk about layoffs and trauma. So whether you are somebody who is having to go through the motions to lay somebody off, to make the decision, to implement, to manage afterwards, or you are somebody who is getting laid off, or you're in the organization after somebody's laid off, it is hands down traumatic. Everybody handles it very differently. I can tell you, I was shocked when I got the news that I was being laid off, but I did my best to keep a positive attitude, and one of the things that I did not do was crawl into bed and cry, go cry in a corner. I did cry, I did scream, I was mad, but I surrounded myself with support and with others and talked through and thought through the possibilities. I did a lot of self-care, took care of myself, took a lot of naps in the months after getting the news. And one thing that I had done recently was navigating what does health insurance look like after being laid off. Because if you're laid off and the layoff happens like during the month, like my official termination date was the 1st of December, and so I kept my health benefits in the United States through the end of that calendar month. So I need to figure out what does health insurance look like for me come January 1st. That is part of the trauma. I don't know if it's part of the trauma, it's part of the traumatic thing, because in 2020, so not very long ago, I had breast cancer. So not having health insurance, which is an option, it is a choice, and just paying out of pocket for things scares the crap out of me, because I had no inclination, no idea when I found out I had breast cancer. Like, it really came out of the blue. So that is terrifying to me, and even financially, what could happen. But I want to go back to just the experience overall of whether you are laying somebody off, whether you have been laid off, or staying in the organization. It's still hard, and you're going to go through so many different emotions. And no matter who you are in that process, you could go through the stages of grief. In some form or another. And the stages of grief are definitely not linear. You could go bounce back and forth throughout those. And you have to give yourself grace to process and to go through all of that. And I want to make sure that you know, and whether it's for you, whether it's for somebody that you know, or you just want to share in general with your connections, with your community, that the Let's Talk About Layoffs community in Facebook is, there are some individuals that it is really, really hard to move past the pain and what you're going through, and that's okay. It is okay to not be okay. You've probably heard this before and maybe laughed a little bit about it, but it's okay. And I would encourage you to seek out support, seek out help. Sometimes that's not always who's in your house or your family or anything like that. I highly encourage you, if you need to seek out a therapist or somebody in the medical field to support you during this time, you have that permission. If you have not given yourself that permission in the past, I'm giving it to you now. You have that permission to seek that support and seek that help. You deserve it. You deserve the support and the help you need to get through this. It's going to be a part of your life, but you are going to survive this and you're going to come out the other end. I've heard so many stories of individuals who have gotten laid off and things end up so much better for them. But I will tell you, that's so hard to hear when you just got the news that you've been laid off, or you're in the midst of that 60-day period where you got laid off and you're not actually terminated yet, and you feel like you're in a hold, kind of almost like a pandemic world where you're not sure what you can do, what you cannot do, kind of thing. But you might have to take baby steps. It may take a while. I have heard stories of people where it's taken months, it's taken 2 years to find a job, to get into a role. And sometimes you have to accept something to help your family and help you to get by financially. You definitely shouldn't do that and sacrifice your mental well-being. There are some things that you may have to do that you never thought you would have to do in order to survive. But I do want to make sure that you know that it is definitely a traumatic experience, no matter who you are in the process, and you are allowed to not be okay. But I also give you permission, and you should give yourself permission to seek out help and support, to work through those stages of grief, to work through the aspects of what you're working through. And I encourage you to join the community. It's not a therapy, it's not a medical support, but I am looking to give the tools and the resources to help individuals that have been involved in that process to come out on the other end brighter and prepared for whatever is next. And whatever is next could look so different depending on who you are and what your support, what your resources, what you're looking at as your opportunities, what you can do. I had entertained thinking about I would eventually like to go full-time in my business, my side hustle. And I wasn't ready to leave corporate. And then that blunt, almost blindside of being laid off gave me that opportunity. I don't know what the next few months or the next year looks like. I am putting things in place to make it successful. I'm also looking at, hey, if something doesn't happen, I don't meet certain things or certain goals that I set by a certain date, then I will look at, do I have to find a role to sustain us for a period of time, or for now on, that kind of thing, whether it's part-time, full-time, whatever we need for our family. I'm open to that, but I'm also open to the opportunity and the chance and the possibilities that are out there amidst the uncertainty of it all, which is scary as shit, I will tell you. But I deserve that. I deserve that happiness. I deserve the possibilities that are in front of me, and you do too. So give yourself grace, get the help that you need, work through, make sure you practice that self-care, and I hope to see you in the community. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in to Let's Talk About Layoffs. It's been a privilege to share today's insights and stories with you, shedding light on the complexities and alternatives to traditional layoffs. Remember, in every challenge lies a chance for growth and positive change. I'm Dr. Tracy Shroyer, and your time and engagement with us today means a lot. For further insights and resources, please visit our website at letstalkaboutlayoffs.com. Don't forget to subscribe for the latest episodes. Until next time, keep exploring innovative approaches to the challenge of organizational change and workforce management.